Hello, you lovely people out there. This is Graham Cofe with the first My Music of this week. Not that you would know that if you're listening to this on Spotify, because you've probably just chosen it at random, like everything else that you probably listen to. But hope you're having a great week wherever you are and however you are partaking in this. In a minute, I'm going to be speaking to the wonderful Darla Jade. But first, let's watch this video. It's pink, like the surroundings of my border. Darla, where are you coming from today?
Hi, so I'm currently in Essex. I'm halfway. Sometimes I'm in Stoke, which is where my hometown is, and then I live in Essex during the week for like songwriting, and then I go back to Stoke at the weekends.
That's it's
a bit all over. It is a bit of a trek, but I do it every week. It's a grind now. We do it every week. So
how do you do it? How do you get from Stoke to Essex and back again? Is it car?
So it depends. So sometimes I'll do train, but then obviously if there's train strikes or if there's like problems with trains, then I just drive. But so this week I came back last night, and because we were playing Maida Vale today this morning, so that was really, really fun. So
Tell me all about that.
I will.
Yeah.
We drove down last night. We got home at like 12:30, like last night. And then we slept and then got up early this morning for Maida Vale. But yeah.
Definitely got to talk about Maida Vale, the tunnels of Maida Vale in a minute. But first, that whole journey. Have you ever been tempted to write a song about it, seeing as you do it on such a regular basis?
So basically, the past couple of songs, Buy More Time has a little bit of me talking about that. So there's a lot of this track starts with 90 down the motorway. I mean, I don't actually speed. I do stick to the speed limits, but for the purpose of the song. But there's a lot of references to driving. I've got the next song that's coming out. That kind of has hints of that. And then I've got a song called Backseat Driver, which again, there's a lot of travel aspects in my songs that have been creeping in the past year. So I think that obviously is a big part. Travel is a massive part of my life at the moment. So it kind of obviously it would seep into my music. It would make sense.
Yeah, when you do it on a regular basis, people, for anyone out there that doesn't travel at all as part of their job or part of their lifestyle, when you do it on a regular basis, there's certain things that kind of creep into your head on a, you kind of people spot and you see certain things, and there's certain frustrations as well, like being stuck somewhere. That's always one of the big frustrations, isn't it? When you get stuck somewhere and you can't go anywhere, and it's not your fault, someone's had an accident or whatever. I've said it before on here. I always wanted to write a song about service stations because I find them fascinating. These places where people that wouldn't necessarily ever talk to each other or meet or whatever suddenly inhabit the same space. They're quite amazing.
It is weird. Especially there's been times as well when you've bumped into people that you know at the service station, and I'm like, oh, what?
Yeah. Why are you here? Oh yeah, well, I'm going in that direction, etc. Yeah, I know, it's the best. I've been stuck. Have you ever been stuck at a service station?
Not, I wouldn't say at a service station, but obviously stuck in traffic or that kind of thing, but not really at a service station. Obviously at the airport, that's another kind of frustration, isn't it, when you get stuck at the airport or at a train station? That's happened a few times for me, but not at a service station. I've never been stuck at a service station.
Oh, you see, you've got all of these things still to come.
I know, it's still to come.
I used to do about 80,000 miles a year and then use planes, trains, automobiles, everything as well. I think one of the weirdest places that I got stuck was on the underground.
Oh, okay, that's happened to me before.
Has it?
Yeah,
Did
that's
you have
not
to walk
nice.
out? Did you actually?
Oh no, that we haven't gone that far.
Yeah, no, they sent the police. Everyone had to make a line along the tunnels, and we were all guided out by torch along the lines.
Oh wow, that must have been horrible.
Horrendous. absolutely horrendous.
Oh,
And it kind of reminds me, really, because that kind of those tunnels, that kind of underground and whatever, it kind of reminds me of Maida Vale. So what was that like then?
I mean, it was so good. I mean, I wouldn't really say there's a load of tunnels where we didn't really go through like tunnels
Well,
and
perhaps
things.
you didn't find those, yeah.
No, we didn't find them. But we were in it's like MV3, so Maida Vale 3, Studio 3. And it was like when we went in there, it was like so big. I was not expecting it to be so huge. Because you kind of walk through like quite narrow corridors and then you get into the spaces and you're just like, wow, this is a lot bigger than I imagined it to be. And the person that was running our session, he was like, yeah, like David Bowie's been in here, Bing Crosby's been in here. To be fair, that was the place where he did his last song, was in the room that we were in, and it was just like so surreal. I was like, oh my goodness, how on earth am I gonna sing these songs when it's in just looks like an amazing space? But I was very, very grateful to have been given the opportunity.
Yeah, that's brilliant. How did that all come about?
So it's through BBC Introducing, so I'm not sure when it's going to get aired or anything. But yeah, it was a very, very cool experience to be a part of.
Was it? Did you have any kind of audience there? Was there anybody watching? Or was
No.
It... No.
Yeah, so it's just like a live session. So once I find out the dates of when it'll get released, I'll be announcing it on socials. But yeah, it was just me and my drummer. It was just amazing though. It was a really, really good experience.
Is it given you that? Has that been one of those experiences that's now given you inspiration to go? I want to go back there when play it when we do have a little audience there and it is bigger and there's all of those sort of things.
I really do hope that we can like play there again one day.
Yeah,
that'd be really good.
What about I love all of those kind of BBC type experiences. Live lounge as well. That's there
as well, isn't it? Well, there was there was like a live lounge glass that they because I'd obviously my drummer was there, so they had all of these like things around him so that the noise wasn't like kind of ruining into the mic as well. So I was kind of boarded in my own little section. He was kind of boarded in his own little section, and they were using like some of the boards from the live lounge. And I was like, oh my gosh, like people have like
photos.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Got to get the photos.
Brilliant. Look, we're on the live lounge. Not really, but we might have been.
We might be one day, hopefully.
So, if you were on the live lounge, there's a question for you. What would you cover? What would be your cover song?
Oh, see, it's quite difficult because I know that they always tend to have like, I'm sure they have like a list that they have to pick through, like, because it kind of has to be like relevant at the time. But if I could do anything, I mean, I love Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush. I think that would be a really, really cool one.
I reckon you get away with that, wouldn't you? I mean, that's still.
I mean, it's relevant now, like as in, I mean,
exactly. Yeah,
it's been kind of revived, hasn't it? That song.
Exactly. The whole Stranger Things, has brought that back again, and there's still people pushing out covers of that right now.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think you get away
with it.
Yeah. So when did writing start for you? When did this whole music thing?
So I kind of fell into writing a little bit later than most people would. So I finished college and I did musical theatre at college. So I've always been quite musical in terms of like I loved singing, like, and I loved performing and that kind of aspect. So since I was little, I was doing that. But like there was no one really in my family that did that. My mum used to do dancing. But like other than that, like musical kind of music and that kind of thing, there was no one else in my family that did it. But my mum did teach me my very first song when I was like younger. So that was Eternal Flame by the Bangles. It's the Bangles. But yeah, so since then I've just been like doing musical theatre, doing all of that kind of thing. And then I think it was, so when I was about 15, I started doing like cover gigs all over the country. And then by the time I'd got to about 18, I was a bit like, oh, I really would love to write my own thing. I was always like interested in doing like melodies and stuff. So it kind of got to a point where I picked up the ukulele, started playing the ukulele and tried to like figure out how to write music. And then basically went to a songwriting camp. And that was then when I realized like, okay, this is the amount of work I need to put in. This is definitely what I do want to do. I just need to put the amount of dedication and the work in to be able to do it. And then since then, that would have been, what year did I do the camp? I think that would have been about 2018. I did the camp, and it was in Thailand as well, so that was an amazing opportunity. And then since then, I've just been going at it since, really.
What instruments do you play? Because I noticed on one of your reels that you're strumming the guitar there. So
Yeah.
what? Yeah.
Um,
What would you claim yourself to be fairly proficient in?
I mean, I'm not really proficient in most of the things, to be honest. Like, I've only just started learning guitar because I used to play the ukulele and I was like, "Ugh, I don't want to do that anymore." And also, I think it's very, very difficult to get a lot of different kind of songs on the ukulele because it sounds too happy, and I don't really write happy songs. So I'm like, hey, let's not do that. And then it's only recently that I've picked up the guitar. I want to say it was April I bought a guitar. So I'm just kind of like learning
Well, you're doing
things here
really
and
well
there. Thank
for
you.
that short period of time. No, brilliant.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. And then what, keyboards and...
I mean, I've done a few bits here and there. Like I could definitely learn something on the keyboard and then be able to play it. Like
Yeah.
I play. I've always remembered how to play like The Power of Love, but then other than that, like I'm one of these people that theory just doesn't seem to go in for me. I have to learn it and then remember it.
Yeah. Now
And
listen,
then,
hang on a minute. When you say The Power of Love, which Power of Love?
so it's the Gabrielle Aplin version.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I know there's the Frankie Goes to Hol- Yeah, there's so many versions,
There's
isn't
so
there?
many. There's Huey Lewis and the News. There's
Yeah.
Jennifer Rush version of it that was at #1 for Donkey's Weeks, going back a long time. So many songs called The Power of Love.
Yeah.
Someone needs to write something called The Love of Power.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I need to do that.
Twist it, have it round the other way so that when you look at it in the mirror, it looks like the right song. So that's lots of different. But when you go to write, where do you start then? If you're like tinkering and lots of different things.
So I'm always working with producers. So I'll always be working with someone that's good on like instruments or good with
kind of voice mainly.
Yeah, so I usually find melody first a lot of the time nowadays. So as soon as like there's a bit of, music down, I'll then just start singing melodies, not even words. It just is literally like, like The Sims. Have you ever played The Sims?
Yeah.
And they just kind of like, it's like Simlish. And you just kind of sing melodies with like loads of random words. And then what happens then is I'll sing that into the mic and then we'll listen back and then chop and kind of change things how we want it, and then we'll lyric everything after. So it's a bit of a weird way.
Does that include the words sometimes? Do you chop the words sometimes and leave words in different orders?
Sometimes there is words that will stick out or it sounds like I'm saying a word, and usually if it sounds like it, then it feels right. So then we'll just kind of
Yeah. Well, it's a strange thing, isn't it, for singers as well? Sometimes a particular word just has a lovely kind of ambience to it, or a lovely kind of gutturalness to it that you just think, oh, that it's actually can't be any other word now.
Yeah.
And then you think, but I've just sung about a pigeon. So
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, how am I going to turn that back around the other way? I wrote a song about the Yellow Pages once. You're probably too young to remember what the Yellow Pages was.
No, I remember what the Yellow Pages was.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I remember that.
For anyone out there that is too young, it was this massive, great book that they used to leave on your mum and dad's doorstep, which had everybody's telephone number for plumbers, carpenters, whatever out there. And it was about this thick.
Yeah, it was so thick.
Ridiculously thick. And, it took forever to look it up. But yeah, I just had this thing in my head about, searching through the Yellow Pages for, this thing and then that thing, and then wouldn't it be a great idea if you could find the person you loved through Yellow Pages?
Yeah, that's very cool. I like that concept. Yeah, I like it.
It didn't ever happen.
You didn't write the song. You didn't write the song.
I did no. I wrote the song, but I was saying finding the person that you loved.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
But that didn't happen. Yeah, but it could have.
It could have.
So, and that's the thing about songwriters, isn't it? You sometimes you kind of put yourself into a kind of half state, half imaginary world, half real world. Do you find yourself doing that all the time?
Yeah, definitely. I think it really helps with like, because sometimes there's not always that much going on in your life. and that's fine, it's great to not have drama, like that's a good thing. So I think it is good to also be a bit more like imaginative as well. I think there's truth in every song, but then it's how
It's
you
an
kind of spin it.
exaggeration of the truth as well.
It's an exaggeration, definitely.
Yeah, no, completely. But talking about truths and everyday life and things like that, normally, actually, when we interview musicians, they've got guitars on the wall behind them. But today, you've got an ironing board.
I know. I was a bit embarrassed. I mean, I was like, it's just gonna stay there. I'm not gonna hide it.
No, it's absolutely fine. But what it brings to mind is, and you and I might have to agree the date to do this, but sometimes at the weekend, because I do all of the ironing in the house, one of the things that I quite often put on my Twitter and my Instagram at the weekend is me doing the ironing to a song. So we could pick one of your songs one weekend and I could do the ironing to it, and perhaps we could get you into that reel as well. That would be great.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Well, just think, if you're going to do ironing, it's a boring task.
It is
isn't
very
it?
boring.
But
some time.
But it's not boring if you sing along at the same time.
True.
Have a little dance. Like most things in life, music helps it go along a little bit quicker.
It definitely does.
So you've done Made of Vale now, which is fantastic. What's the next ambition? What's the next thing on the road that's like, I've got to tick that one off next?
I just really want to be able to do some festivals next year. Like Glastonbury is definitely on the list. I just hope one day we can do that.
It's only just down the road.
It's next week as well, isn't it?
Yeah. I might actually just walk past and take a photo and pretend I'm there. Because
may as well.
Because I don't have time to actually go because I'm working. But yeah, no, it's great. Glastonbury. So Glastonbury Festival, maybe some other festivals.
Yeah, I'd really want to do some festivals. We've done a few, but yeah, I'd love to do some more.
What is it about festivals for you? I mean, you a festival goer. Have you been to many festivals?
I haven't really been to that many festivals because I'm kind of in the mentality of like, I want to go and I play it. I want to go and I play it. I want to go and I play it. Like, so I'm kind of like holding off, but I feel like I'm definitely going to be one of these people. Like when it gets to like 50, I'm going to be like, right, okay, might never play it. I might just have to go. I might just have to do it.
So, that's not going to happen. You are definitely going to play festivals, right?
I hope so.
Yeah, you've been on here now. I mean, we're going to make it happen. You're going to play festivals. What is it about playing live that you love so much?
It's definitely my favorite aspect of being an artist. I think there's really something special about being able to see an audience like engage with the things that you've made. Like it's just, I feel like it all becomes very much more real. Like, it's great getting to write these things and, write and collaborate, and they're kind of like a thing that you've made. But then when you show that to like a new audience or to people that have heard it, and there's just something magic with being able to do that.
Yeah. Do you try and hold the audience in the palm of your hand while you're playing?
I mean, it's a bit of a weird that, isn't it? But yeah, I think it is. You do want to try and like bring everyone in and like make everyone feel involved in the art that you've created.
Yeah,
that's important. Yeah,
I'm quite critical of front people. I don't know what you're like when you watch a band, but I am quite critical of front people because having been a front person myself, partly you feel like you're there to sing the song and inhabit the song, etc. But you all are also there to entertain people, and you're there to kind of connect with the audience. And sometimes I feel like you go and see someone and they're like just getting on with it, and you just think, I went to see a band this weekend who which is Lowe's, because you supported them.
Yes,
the other day.
They're very good,
and they're quite dynamic on stage, aren't they? I mean,
very.
Yeah, I just think you've got a few minutes to kind of create that relationship with the audience and try and pull them in.
Yeah, they're really good, and they're so friendly as well. Really, really lovely people.
I know. I can absolutely tell you that that's the truth. Lovely people. So it was a shame you weren't there as well, but you played the night before.
So yeah, I did the Manchester gig. Did you go to the Bristol show?
I was at Bristol. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So when are you playing Bristol? That's the next question. So that we.
I really I really do want to play Bristol. I was meant to be playing Bristol. I think it was it 2020? You know, when all the years just kind of merge into one. I feel like it was 2021. It was meant to have been, and then the tour got cancelled. It wasn't my tour. I was basically supporting, and then yeah, it got cancelled, which was a shame. But hopefully one day I can play Bristol.
If you're a promoter and you're watching this and you're within the Bristol area, that Darla would love to come and play Bristol. Okay?
I would love to do that.
Just if we could make that happen, that would be lovely. I'd be very happy as well. I've got a T-shirt on today from a Bristolian artist called Pen Friend. So,
oh, nice.
There you go. Maybe you could become Pen Friend's friend, and then maybe you could, find a place. Yeah, find a place to play in Bristol. That would be a lovely thing.
That'd be good.
So playing festivals is definitely on the cards for 2024. What music wise and releasing music wise, how's that going to look for you 2024?
So in 2024, I'm not entirely. So I write a lot of music. To the point that I've kind of got to a point where I'm like, okay, I need to stop writing as much as I am, because there's quite a lot of songs that I really like that I want to release. So at the moment we're just releasing singles, because I've released 2 EPs now. And that's like independently, which I think EPs and albums they're very difficult to do independently, because there's so much money that needs to go behind them.
Yeah.
So I've done 2 EPs now independently. So I'm like at a point where I'm like, I just want to do some singles for a little bit. And I feel like when you release singles, you can also be a bit more free with how you want to release things. And also you don't have to stress about things sounding overly too coherent. So yeah, it kind of gives you a bit more freedom to be like, okay, I'm gonna go a little bit this way now, but then you can still go a little bit this way. So there's so many different avenues you can take things when you're doing singles. So yeah, as long as they're catchy.
Singles and maybe merch to go with the singles as well. And I'm thinking for you in particular, because you're quite fond of your shades, aren't you? I mean, maybe we could have some Darla Jade shades.
Darla Jade shades, that sounds good.
Doesn't it? Darla Jade shades,
Yeah.
In fact, that whole thing just sounds right, There
some purple ones.
Some yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. A friend of mine once, we went to a festival, and he stopped off on the way, and he actually bought a whole load of cheap shades and then just scribbled on the side scribbled on the side with a marker. Good. Yeah. And then, we handed them out to so many people, and they kind of became cool, and then people wanted to buy them. It's
That's
just
cool.
Maybe
once one buys, or like once you've got like a few people there that want to wear them,
exactly.
They just take after themselves.
That's it. You start kind of a little trend, and everyone's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I want one of those pair of shades with the little bird on the side or whatever it is. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Who knows? I think your music's fabulous. I think what you're doing is brilliant, and I wish you all the best for the future with it. If you could collaborate with somebody, who would that be?
So I love a band called Paris. It's spelled PVRIS.
I know them.
I love Paris so much. So yeah, if that could happen, that would be great.
What is it about? Not that for anyone that's just caught the conversation, not the city, but what is it about the band Paris?
I just think they're so good. Like their songs, their writing, it's just amazing. I mean, Lynn Gunn is just a force to be reckoned with, isn't it? Like they're so good.
Yeah, it's kind of music that kind of takes you away somewhere as well.
Mm-hmm. And every song I find as well, what sometimes is frustrating as a listener is when artists have too many songs that sound the same. Whereas Paris, I feel like they have so many different types of music, but it's Paris. And I think that is something that's something that's amazing to be able to do that.
It doesn't get boring.
No.
That's brilliant. Well, there you go. We will tag Paris in as well.
Sounds good.
so what we're looking for next year is for anyone that hasn't checked out Darla Jade's music, by the way, go and do it now. You'd be ridiculous not to, because it's fantastic.
Thank you.
But also we're going to tag everyone in, and this is so we can look back in the year's time and see where we've got to. Darla Jade's dream for 2024, or this time next year, will be that she's on the list at various festivals. She will have released some wonderful singles, some accompanied by you can buy the bundle where you can get the glasses with it as well, which will be, you know, ready for the summer festivals. You see, people
amazing. Yeah,
will wear
give
these
them out
for the festivals, and she will be supporting Paris as well. And all of these things will come true because we've just manifested it here live on air. And you know, if I say it's going to happen, then it has to happen. There we go. Thanks, Darla, for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been fun.
Well, absolutely, and for me as well. So in all seriousness, folks, if you haven't checked out Darla's music yet, go and do it now. Spend a lot of money. You know, download all of her music and play it on. If you're on one of those dots in the corner of the room that you shout at and it doesn't understand you, you know, Darla. At least Darla's got quite an easy name. All right, so you know, you want to pick artists with easy names. There's an easy one, Darla Jade. Your little black dot should understand you. And just put it on repeat. You know, just add it to your playlist as well. Everyone loves to be added to a playlist. Summer playlist 2023, Darla Jade. There you go. Can't go wrong with that. Thank you. I'm glad you had a great session at Maida Vale. And
thank you so much. Thank you very much for having me.
Until next time, folks, this has been Darla Jade with my music. We'll be back tomorrow when Nicky will be on to talk to us about his music. Until then, bye for now.
Bye.